Today we embark on a journey through one of the most powerful and deeply transformative teachings of the Buddha, an idea that might strike us as unsettling at first. Your mind is your worst enemy. At first glance, this statement feels harsh, even shocking, but when we pause to reflect, we begin to uncover the profound wisdom embedded within these words. The Buddha wasn't condemning the mind. Rather, he was offering a gateway to understand how our minds can serve as both the architects of our suffering and the instruments of our liberation. In this reflection, we will dive into why the Buddha offered this teaching, how our own minds can turn into barriers that hinder our peace, and more importantly, how we can transform this internal force into our most loyal ally. Let's begin. Let's first acknowledge the extraordinary influence the human mind holds. Our mind is not merely a passive receiver of experience, it's the lens through which every thought, feeling, and perception passes. It colors everything we encounter. Each interaction we have, every joy or sorrow we feel, and every difficulty we face is interpreted through the filter of our mind. Imagine for a moment, if your mind is filled with confusion, negativity, or fear, then your entire experience of life becomes tinted by that internal chaos. The world, no matter how peaceful or beautiful, begins to reflect your inner turbulence. This is why the Buddha taught that the mind is the birthplace of both joy and suffering. It holds within it the seed of our liberation, but also the root of our pain. When we allow our thoughts to control our behavior, when we react impulsively to every passing emotion or fleeting idea, our mind stops being our guide and turns into our adversary. Thoughts of doubt, fear, insecurity, and craving silently take over, stirring inner battles and emotional unrest. The Buddha saw that most people live unknowingly imprisoned by their own thoughts, rarely recognizing how deeply their mind shapes their reality. Our minds are naturally restless, always moving, always racing, jumping like a wild monkey from one branch to another, never staying still. This relentless motion becomes our default state, making it incredibly difficult to focus or find peace. The Buddha compared the mind to a turbulent ocean, unsettled, unpredictable, constantly in motion. When we don't know how to calm these internal waves, we get pulled into the undertow of anxiety, regret, and worry. This restlessness keeps us shackled to the past, reliving mistakes, dwelling in guilt, or projects us into an unknown future filled with uncertainty and fear. As a result, we lose connection with the present moment, which is the only space where true life happens. This disconnection brings unease, frustration, and a deep sense of dissatisfaction, even when everything around us seems fine. One of the Buddha's core insights was about attachment, our natural tendency to cling to people, experiences, desires, and possessions. We believe these attachments will bring us lasting happiness, and so we chase them relentlessly. Yet the more we crave, the more tightly we cling, the deeper our suffering becomes. This craving, known in Buddhist philosophy as tanha, is the source of endless disappointment. Why? Because all things are impermanent. People change, circumstances shift, and everything we hold dear eventually fades. When we depend on things that are unstable for our happiness, we unknowingly set ourselves up for inevitable suffering. As the Buddha wisely taught, the root of our suffering lies not in the world, but in our refusal to let go of what we cannot control. We often try to take charge of every detail, our environment, our emotions, our future, and even others' behavior. We believe that if we could just control everything, we would find peace. But ironically, the harder we grip, the more unstable things become. This illusion of control leads to tension, stress, and disappointment. The Buddha pointed out that true liberation does not come from controlling life, but from flowing with it. It is in surrender, not resistance, that we discover serenity. Letting go does not mean indifference, but not disorder. Letting go does not mean indifference. It means trusting the natural rhythm of life, allowing events to unfold and remaining centered through it all. When we stop trying to shape everything according to our desires, we open space in the mind for calm, wisdom, and perspective. But how do we actually train our minds to become our allies instead of our enemies? The Buddha gave us a practical and transformative solution, the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully aware, of watching your thoughts arise and fall without becoming consumed by them. It's the gentle, non-judgmental observation of the inner world. Through mindfulness, we begin to see the mind not as something to fear or obey, but as something to understand. We learn to notice when a thought is leading us astray. We become aware of the stories we tell ourselves, the ones that cause guilt, shame, anger, or fear, and we gain the power to choose whether or not to follow them. One of the most effective ways to cultivate mindfulness is through meditation, by sitting quietly each day, even for a few minutes, and simply observing the breath or the body. We begin to tame the wild monkey mind. Slowly, the constant noise starts to quiet down. In the stillness, clarity emerges. We no longer identify with every thought or emotion. We see them come and go, like clouds passing across a vast sky. But mindfulness isn't only about formal meditation. It's about weaving awareness into the fabric of everyday life. When we eat, we can eat with attention. When we walk, we can walk with presence. When we speak, we can do so with consciousness. Every moment becomes an opportunity to practice mindfulness and to reclaim our inner peace. As we continue on this path, we start to free ourselves from the unconscious habits that generate suffering. The mind softens, we become more compassionate, more balanced, more whole. And this, the Buddha said, is where true freedom lies. Yet mindfulness alone is not the full path. The Buddha offered a comprehensive roadmap to inner transformation called the Noble Eightfold Path. This path includes right understanding, seeing life clearly and recognizing the truth of suffering, right intention, cultivating intentions rooted in compassion and renunciation, right speech, speaking truthfully and kindly, right action, living ethically and responsibly, right livelihood, choosing work that doesn't harm others, right effort, dedicating energy toward wholesome thoughts and actions, right mindfulness, maintaining awareness of body, mind, and feelings, right concentration, developing deep mental focus and meditation. By walking this path, step by step, we slowly purify the mind, removing the layers of delusion, craving, and fear that bind us. We stop being ruled by the mind and begin to master it with patience, discipline, and compassion. In the end, the Buddha's teaching that the mind can be our worst enemy is not a judgment, it is a call to awakening. He was inviting us to recognize the power we each hold within us, the power to shape our reality, to free ourselves from suffering, and to live with greater love and understanding. Yes, the mind can trap us in pain, but it can also become the vehicle for enlightenment. It all depends on how we train it, how we treat it, and how we choose to relate to it. If this message resonated with you, and you're seeking more insights into Buddhist wisdom, mindfulness practices, and tools to live with peace and awareness, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you'll always stay connected to teachings that help you grow and live more consciously. Thank you for joining us today. May peace dwell in your heart, and may wisdom light your path as you walk the journey of inner freedom.